Whether it be a speedy getaway or heroic charge, dash action is the way to go. Welcome back to Actions in Combat. When you take the dash action during your turn, it gives you extra movement which is equal to your speed plus any modifiers, whether it be negative or positive. This means if you dash multiple times in one turn, it's not going to double then quadruple, but double then triple, as you're adding your original speed each time. Similar to the disengage action, there are many ways to sacrifice less than an action to use it. The monk and rogue both get the ability to use it as a bonus action. The barbarian Totem Eagle Rage allows you to use it as a bonus action as well. The Expeditious Retreat spell also allows you to do the same. There are a few ways to get access to the dash action as a bonus action or less. Mobile Spell is a great boost to a dashing character and really encourages the use of dashing, considering that you get a +10 to movement, you get to ignore difficult terrain while dashing across it, and after you make a weapon attack, hit or not, you can move away from that creature without provoking an opportunity attack. So as a rogue, being able to use Cunning Action to dash as a bonus action, you could attack as an action, and then dash away as a bonus action, getting quite far away without even provoking an opportunity attack, getting the benefits of both a dash action and disengage with a simple bonus action. Opportunities like this are great because often you are forced to choose between the safety of the disengage action, but sacrificing the speed and distance that you get away with the dash action, making it less certain if your opponent will follow, which often leaves a difficult choice. So removing that entirely is a great way to improve the dash action. Another feat that works great with dashing is the Charger feat. If you use your dash as an action, as a bonus action, you can either push the target or make one weapon attack. And if you moved at least 10 feet in a straight line towards that target, you get +5 to damage if you are making a weapon attack, or you push them an additional 5 feet if you choose the push action. Chases also revolve around the dash action, allowing you to dash a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier +3. Every additional time you dash after those uses, you have to make a DC 10 Constitution check to see if you suffer one level of exhaustion or not, and continue doing that, which makes the dashing action really useful in these sort of chase situations with really cool, interesting mechanics. During combat, the dash action is sometimes used offensively if you need to close in space to an enemy, if they push you away or whatnot, or combining it with, say, the Charger feat to burst towards them and still get the benefit of an attack. It can also be used more defensively. For example, you need to get enough distance between an enemy to escape, but if you disengage, then the enemy will be able to catch up, so you're free from safety while potentially taking some damage if you can afford it. This is better when fighting a caster, because normally unless they have the Warcaster or some sort of melee option, they can't really do much with an opportunity attack. Or if you're in a bad spot, just need to dash away, get behind some cover, or say you're a caster and want to dash away in order to be safe from melee range, you can keep that concentration on an important spell. Dash over to an ally to give them a healing potion, or get enough distance from the enemy to make a good range attack on them, etc. While risky as a defensive move, a high AC character can easily get away without having to worry about being hit, and fleeing strategy, chases, etc. By giving out the dash action is pretty cheap to use, it encourages players to have mobility around the battlefield and make these interesting strategic choices, which, if it was always an action, would be used a lot less. There's one thing that Pathfinder 2.0 does, which is you have 3 actions, and you could technically use them all to attack, but you have a -5 penalty each time, so it encourages you to do other things, and only certain classes get opportunity attacks, which makes mobility around the battlefield much more encouraged, which I think maybe bringing a little bit over that to 5e, maybe in your games, might encourage that mobility if you're not quite getting it from your players. Normally when I talk about either the dash, disengage, or dodge actions, I compare them when they're being used offensively. And I do this for a good reason. Each has their disadvantages. The disengage action protects you from any attacks against you when you're escaping, but they can easily catch up to you. The dodge action protects you, gives you a higher chance at least, of both getting away without being scarred when it comes to opportunity attacks, and if they catch up to you still, you can still kind of avoid them. But it's better for prolonging the fight. And then the dash action is the best if you want to just get away and you know that they're going to follow you otherwise, but you're going to risk some damage. Just like in real life, retreat is supposed to be difficult. Being confronted with this difficult choice and being able to retreat well is a sign of a professional army. Being able to still maintain that order, even in the chaos of men in the ranks being killed and disbanded as you're backing up. Not just disbanding into chaos and maintaining that order as you back away is a sign of a professional army. And also, retreating is often making the gamble that they're not going to follow you. And normally they don't, because it is more risk to them, but it is still a gamble. Let's use an example. Say an enemy has a 50% chance to hit you. Let's look at each strategy. 1, you disengage. Next turn, the enemy catches up to you. They have 50% chance of attacking you. Now let's go to dashing. You dash away, opportunity attack, the enemy has a 50% chance of hitting you, but you get farther away, so they can't catch up to you. Third, the dodge action. First, you get away. They have 25% chance of hitting you. Then they catch up to you. Another 25% chance of hitting you. So in this case, all have the same total, 50% chance of being hit, but with the dash action, you moved away farther. But this is assuming the enemy has a 50% chance to hit, and they only have 1 attack. The more attacks the enemy can make, the worse the disengage action becomes, because while you're avoiding 1 attack while disengaging, if they can catch up to you, they're going to make 2 or 3 attacks. While dodging, you can reduce the chances of all those attacks. Same with dashing. They only get to make 1 attack, but if you get farther enough away, you're not going to take any more attack damage. The disengage action becomes better if you have more base speed than the opponent, because even if you move away, say as a monk, have 50 speed and they only have 30 speed, they're not going to get you in time to hit you again, which means you avoid all damage altogether. This disengage action also makes more sense the more enemies they are, because when you're dashing, you're going to take more opportunity attacks, but if you disengage, you're going to take no opportunity attacks, and probably only some of them will pursue you. Disengaging is the best option always if you know the enemy will not pursue you or does not have the speed to do so. Dodging is normally not as good in most cases unless you want to prolong combat rather than escaping. Or the enemy can still make ranged attacks on you. But looking at the same speed and taking away everything else, in most cases, you have the greatest chance of escape with the dash action. Regardless of AC, for higher AC means better dodging, and lower AC is worse for the dodge action, though it is better than nothing. These vary by AC, but no matter what, dodging is persistent in its benefit, giving you the greatest distance away, greatest a chance of escape, as long as you know they will pursue you. Well, this wraps up the defensive capabilities of the dash, dodge, and disengage actions. This is Sean from Dodeca Dungeon, signing off.